Weight cut failures have been quite a bit of a problem in the world of MMA, and some are worse than others. From UFC to Bellator, not even the most amazing fighters could fight that. You gotta practice like a maniac and sometimes do insane things, such as weight cutting. Fighters will have to sometimes even dehydrate themselves. It's all pretty brutal. In this video, we'll talk about 10 times when MMA fighters missed their weights. Starting off with the weight attempts. There are walk-around weights, and then there are MMA weights. And to get that, these fighters would do anything to get that specific weight that's required in an MMA fight. But like we said, this isn't an easy task, and they have to go through uncomfortable and unhealthy diets to get down to the weight class that is far away from their normal weight. Then there are some fighters who will actually attempt to come down to the weight class and fail badly. Now, whether that's because it's implied that they missed a weight class or the amount that's missed, there are some weight cut failures in MMA that are so bad that they've made it onto this list. Now, at number 10 is Melvin Guillard. Oh, those dreaded 4 pounds. You might think they're not so bad, right? But in MMA, that's no less than a sin. And Melvin Guillard right here is a sinner. We kid, but it's still a lot. When he was released from the UFC in 2014, he decided to head on over to the World Series of Fighting. He was obviously very good and won his very first round, and even though he missed the weight by 1 pound for this round, he earned a chance against Justin Gaethje. It was a possibility that he could snatch Gaethje's lightweight strap away from him. But alas, Guillard missed weight badly for the fight that'd go on to be a theme in the next half of his career. Imagine having your weight define your career. It sounds awful. After he missed weight by those 4 pounds, Guillard went on to lose a split decision to Gaethje the next day and was, of course, released from the World Series of Fighting. At number 9, we have Rampage Jackson. Next, we have Rampage Jackson with his last 5 pounds. His return to Japan for UFC 144 was huge. When he was matched up against his light heavyweight contender Ryan Bader at this particular event, Rampage not only lost the fight, but he also lost against the weighing machine, and the weigh-in day wasn't very good for him. He weighed 211 pounds, which was 5 pounds higher than the light heavyweight limit. So what do you think happened? Of course, he was defeated, quite easily at that. But they didn't even get to fight because Bader went on to easily defeat Jackson the following day via decision. Oh, those last 5 pounds. Our number 8, we have John Lineker. We have another contender on the 4 pounds list, but you obviously know this one because John Lineker's weight issues are pretty well known in the MMA world, and that actually got him kicked out from the UFC because of his constant weight issues. The other 2 on our list only failed once, but Lineker here has had quite some issues with his weight. And even though there have been quite many well-documented issues, there was one that takes the cake. His UFC 183 attempt for his fight with Ian McCall is possibly the worst example if we look at all the factors that led to our belief that it's just so bad. When he was heading into the bout, Lineker had already missed weight twice at flyweight, but he was hopeful and optimistic. We'd say because he decided to make an attempt one more time, and he missed it by a whopping 4 pounds for the fight against McCall. The fight did happen, but Lineker was forced to give up 30% of his purse. Not just that, but he was also forced out to bantamweight afterward. Let's go on to number 7 with Anthony Johnson. This happened against Rich Clementi, and Anthony Johnson missed it by 6 pounds. But you also knew that, didn't you? Because just like Lineker, Johnson's weight-cutting issues are just as famous as his punching power. Johnson's second UFC fight was against Rich Clementi at UFC 76, and before he could even get inside the ring, things took a defeating turn for Johnson, and he lost to the scale very badly. He missed weight by 6 pounds, and just after a day of losing to the scale, he also lost to his opponent. But that wasn't because he was bad at the fight, because we know how brutal he can be, but the weight cut obviously played a role in his defeat because he lost via a lopsided second-round submission. On number 6, we have Mackenzie Dern. We've got a girl on the list too, this time with a 7-pound difference. Mackenzie Dern's rise to contendership over the last few years has been amazing. She's proven herself beyond anything anyone could have imagined. But did you guys forget about her early years? All those times. We're sure she'd like to forget about them herself. Her weight-cutting failures began early in her career, and Dern officially missed weight for 2 of her first 5 fights before she was signed to the UFC. How do you come back from that? But Dern, the hard worker that she is, did bounce back quite well. These weren't very bad, because nothing tops the time she missed weight at UFC 224. Dern's fight for Amanda Cooper was not canceled because of her weight miss, but she officially missed weight by 7 pounds for that bout, but look on the bright side. She went on to win via submission the next day. Talk about commitment. The fifth on this list is Charles Oliveira. We also have Charles Oliveira on this list with his humongous 9 pounds. His career resurgence as the lightweight champion has also helped everyone forget that he wasn't like this since the beginning. And you might have forgotten it too that his missed weights were so bad that he's number 5 on our list. Oliveira missed many times at featherweight and was even forced to lightweight as a result. Oh, but the worst miss was the one that actually forced him up. Oliveira missed weight by 9 pounds for his fight against Ricardo Lamas in November of 2016. But that wasn't the worst part about the week for him, because he also lost because of a second-round submission. On number 4, we have Kelvin Gastelum. Joining Charles Oliveira on the list with the 9 pounds failure is Kelvin Gastelum. His fight against Tyrone Woodley at UFC 183 was supposed to be a fight between 2 title competitors that could possibly have the winner get a title shot next. You'd think this was a huge moment for him. But his weight didn't let him have the time of day, and in the end, Gastelum missed weight terribly, and all the stakes for the bout messed up the day of the weigh-ins. He missed weight by 9 pounds and was forced to give up his 30% of the purse because of it. And not just that, he also lost the fight to Woodley the very next day. Oh, but wait a second. It was an absolutely boss move. Woodley declined the extra money and said that Gastelum losing the fight was punishment enough. Someone call the burn ward. Here is number 3, Anthony Johnson. 11 pounds have made the list. Anthony Johnson lost the fight against Vitor Belfort, and he was actually released because of his dreadful weight miss. After missing weight many times at welterweight, he was forced up to middleweight, and his first fight was set to happen with Vitor Belfort at UFC 142. But then Johnson missed weight by an astounding 11 pounds for the middleweight bout. What did that lead to? After getting submitted by Belfort, he was immediately released from the UFC. So that is a pretty bad ending. Second on the list is Mayhem Miller. You gotta brace yourself, because this is just gonna get worse from here. Everyone was excited. Jason Mayhem Miller's MMA comeback at Venator FC was set to be his first bout in 4 years. He was set for a middleweight bout against Luke Barnott, but he ended up missing weight by a confounding 24 pounds. So as a result of that, instead of fighting Barnett, he was matched up with Matthias Schiavolin to fight at the light heavyweight. Strictly because he weighed in at 207 pounds, he missed weight for the light heavyweight bout as well. So what does that lead to? He loses the fight against Schiavolin the next day because of submission. Finally, at number 1, we have Aaron Cobb. And lastly, we have a staggering 54-pound weight miss. Oh man, you thought 4 pounds was bad when you started this video, but had no idea what was in store. Gerald Harris was set for a welterweight bout with Aaron Cobb at Legacy Fighting Championships in December 2016, when this welterweight fight was turned into a heavyweight bout because Cobb weighed 224 pounds. In an epic turn of events, this bout was turned into a heavyweight catchweight bout on just 1 day's notice. Harris had to stop his weight cut, eat loads of food, and possibly even weigh in with stones in his pocket to weigh in at 208 pounds, which would be acceptable. That's it from our side for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or thoughts about the 10 times an MMA fighter missed weight, let us know in the comments below. See you in the next one.